Good day, children. Unit 1, Communication Skills. We are going to continue with the session 2. This session 2 will have two videos, one on verbal communication and the other one on non-verbal communication. So session 2 is about verbal and non-verbal communication. The learning objectives are about the components of verbal communication, types of verbal communication, components of non-verbal communication and types of non-verbal communication. So now about the verbal communication. So you have learned that we can communicate in different ways. Most important forms being the verbal communication and the non-verbal communication. So now let's see what is a verbal communication. The verbal communication is a type of oral communication wherein the message is transmitted through the spoken words. Here the sender gives words to his feelings, thoughts, ideas and opinions and expresses them in the form of speeches, discussions, presentations and conversations. So now let's see what are the factors affecting verbal communication. Only with these factors the verbal communication can be made effective. Tone of the speaker, clarity of speech, speed of speaking, volume, body language and vocabulary, or rather the quality of the words that we use in the conversation. Now the components of verbal communication. There are four components: clear speech of the sender, listening skills of the receiver, common fluent language, comprehension. So now the first component, clear speech of sender. The sender should be clear with the words in speech. Only then right words are communicated in correct context and the speech is very clear. It should be very clear. Should not speak very fast or very slow. Also the volume of the speech should be clearly audible and should not be very loud or soft. Now the listening skills of the receiver. The receiver should listen what is being said with full attention and reliability. If the receiver is not attentive, then they might miss some important piece of information and will not get exact information, and the aim of communication will fail. Third component, common fluent language. The language of communication should be such that both the sender and the receiver can understand it. Also, the flow of the words should not be broken. It should be fluent because a break in the flow may cause misunderstandings and may even be misinterpreted. Example, if the sentence comes as, "We lost the match," then the receiver will interpret it as a total failure. But after a gap, the sentence completes as, "but qualified for the nationals," even though it will be clear after a gap, but this will lose its impact. Also, the sender should avoid using abbreviations as they may be misinterpreted. Comprehension. The receivers then comprehend what is being said by assessing the same in the context in which it is said. For example, if the sentence says, "Rohan cut the tree," it gives a wrong impression about Rohan, as trees must be preserved as long as possible, and also cutting trees is illegal in most areas. So Rohan is here considered as an offender and not a good citizen. But if the context is like, "A big tree fell which damaged a bus carrying children and blocked the road too. To save the children's lives, Rohan cut the tree." Now the meaning of that sentence totally changes and Rohan comes off as a hero. So thus the components of the verbal communication makes the communication more effective. About types of verbal communication. The verbal oral form of communication is further classified into four categories: intrapersonal communication, interpersonal communication, small group communication and public communication or public speaking. Now about intrapersonal communication. It includes the silent conversations we have with ourselves, wherein we juggle the roles between the sender and the receiver. Interpersonal communication. It takes place between two individuals and is thus a one-to-one conversation. Here the two individuals involved swap their roles as sender and receiver in order to communicate adequately. Small group communication. This type of communication can take place only when there are more than two people involved. Here, the number of people will be small enough to allow each participant to interact and converse with the rest. Press conferences, board meetings and team meetings, etc. are examples for group communication. Now about public communication or public speaking. This type of communication takes place when one individual addresses a large gathering of people. Election campaigns and public speeches are examples for this type of communication. Advantages of verbal communication. It saves time in communication. It's quick in obtaining feedback once delivered because the people are in front of us. It provides complete understanding of the communication delivered, and there is chance to make it more clear in case of doubts in interpretation of words and ideas. It is more reliable method of communication. It is flexible and effective for all. It is powerful means of persuasion and control. It is cheaper way of communication and hence saves money. Now the disadvantages of verbal communication. Emotions are visible and hence leads to trouble in certain cases. It has no legal validity and hence will lead to problems in certain situations. It does not provide permanent record unless it is recorded with modern means of storage. It has issues when communicating with distant people. It is difficult for certain people to understand speech due to various speech tones used in verbal communication. This form of communication is not suitable for lengthy messages. So with this, the verbal communication is completed. We will continue the next class with non-verbal communication. Thank you, children. If you have any questions or clarifications needed, you can text to me at sivaneshwari.SESpeech in lectures section in the Discord. Thank you, children. Meet you again. Bye-bye.